Hi, I'm Brit.
I'm Mike.
We're the directors of Boxers and Ballerinas.
And we're gonna do a little interview discussion about the movie right now.
Tell you a few stories.
Well, Brit and I both met at Georgetown. We went to school together. And interestingly enough, we were both economics majors.
Which turned out to have very little to do with what we're doing now.
Yes. We can only determine the opportunity cost of not doing what we're doing.
But actually, Georgetown ended up having a surprising film movement sort of on its campus, and I think a bunch of people hooked up who were interested in making films and trying to learn to become storytellers and tell stories through film. And I was a junior at Georgetown, and Mike had just graduated and was working at National Geographic when I took a leave of absence, and Mike left Geographic, and we went down to Cuba with Nick Shoemaker, who produced this fine documentary. And the three of us went down there with 2 cameras and 2 laptops and some lacy hard drives, and just decided we were going to make a movie.
My favorite part about the film is that it's unlike standard sort of talking head documentary storytelling. This was a chance to do something very creative.
It employed more the visual techniques of cinema and of fiction storytelling. We wanted to sort of get a slice of life following these 4 young people, more of sort of fly on the wall style.
Daily whip. I'm gonna be knocking on the door before they less suspect it. Pop, 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 pop. Let me in.
One of the things that Brit and I talked about right in the beginning was how can we make a medium that is both visual and auditory, like pictures and sound. How can you smell Cuba through those 2 things? It's like that was the feeling. Like how can we convey the
vibe of a place.
Vibe of a place. And I remember when we first sat down with Anya and explained to her our filming technique, we said, okay, we're gonna put the microphone on you and then you just ignore us, completely forget about us and go about your day. And she took it so literally.
Ciao.
Within 10 minutes she disappeared, we couldn't even find her. We were like,
She put that mic on, she walked out of the house the first morning and never looked behind her.
And never looked back.
Be hopping into cabs, like
we were chasing after her,
running down streets trying to hold on to her. But that's what ended up being the best. Most of the time, the people who were around her, her boyfriend, her friends, her peers in her dancing classes, had no idea that we were even there filming them. And that was the case a lot of the times. In fact, I think my favorite scene in the movie is when Paula is being instructed by her mother, and they're having this intimate moment together where Paula's struggling with this move, and her mother's talking her through it, and her mother says, to be a dancer, you have to think of yourself as a jumbo jet.
Se puede ver, me da la impresión de que estoy viendo despegar un jumbo.
Which seems kind of an odd thing to say about an art that's so graceful, but you have to be a jumbo jet, and you have to get all this steam and this energy, and then you just rise up and you just float and you carry yourself.
Hasta que se quede en el aire y ya no se mueva. Tú lo ves por eso. Porque consiguió el equilibrio perfecto.
And it's an interesting moment that they have together, and one where I definitely know they didn't know we were filming them. And I think those moments, for me, are the most interesting because you get a feeling for what is this mother-daughter relationship really like.
We must have had 400 hours worth of footage. It was such an extensive shooting period and then such an extensive editing period. It took so long just to even capture it all and go through it and then decide what goes in and what goes out.
But I think what's sort of maverick about Boxers and Ballerinas is that it takes something that I think is often not the focus of documentary filmmaking, which is the sort of artistic visual or rhythmic presentation, and makes that not necessarily the focus, but a huge a huge part of the way the story is told.